Hello everyone, this is Xochitl with Sociology. Welcome back to my channel, Sociology. Super excited to be here with you guys today. I cannot even express the feeling that I'm feeling right now. I'm just feeling fulfilled, I'm feeling grateful, and I'm feeling excited about this next topic. It the title of it and the meaning of it and the way it might be interpreted might not seem exciting, but I gotta tell you guys that when you experience this, it's life changing. And this is probably why I'm so excited to talk about this right now. And it's something that I actually just recently experienced. So, in doing a little bit of groundwork and, listening to different people speak about this topic, it's totally changed my perception on it. And it made me appreciate it in a different sense because it actually helped me grow. And it actually shifted me in a different direction in my life. So I'm psyched to talk to you guys about this. Today's topic is called solitude. I know, right? Solitude, like being lonely, being in a cocoon, not talking to anyone, antisocial, not speaking to a lot of people, not going anywhere, like just rolling straight up solo. Today's topic is solitude and the power behind it. But before I continue, if you guys can please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button over here, I believe it is. I'm going through a lot of changes right now in my life. I'm adjusting a lot of things. I'm learning a lot about myself, and I'm really trying to embrace this whole change that I'm going through right now. And I'm learning a lot in this process. Mind you, I have major goals, some goals that are kind of scary to even think about. Like I scare myself that I think about these things sometimes that I'm like, do I really want that, Sochi? Like, are you really trying to go there? And the answer is yes, absolutely. I have goals. I have things that I'm trying to reach, things that I'm trying to learn and just break out of this cocoon that I'm in. And first and foremost, before I even like go there, is like my purpose is to change generational curses. And I don't mean the word curses in a negative way at all. I mean, I am a product of my environment. My family's a product of their environment. And the history, it goes back. So we do the best that we can with what is that we are handed or whatever our situation is that we're born into, right? So anyway, I don't want to get too far into that because that's a whole nother story for another day. But I want to bring this back to all the changes that I've been blessed to experience and go through. And one of them, a big factor in this is solitude. And I found myself kind of dealing with myself. And it can get kind of ugly. I'm not gonna lie. It can get ugly facing yourself. You think you got it all together and you think you're growing, you're going through your checklist, you're reaching some goals, you're hitting all your little milestones that are gonna get you to that big, big goal, right? But it's inevitable that as you go through this journey, you learn a lot about yourself and you face yourself, and you are going to be faced with moments where you're not really dealing with the outside world, unless it's something that's maybe specific, like a phone call here, a phone call there, or for something that has to do with your growth. I talked to my mentor, my family, a couple of few like friends that I talk to here and there, but for the most part, I went through a period of time where I really didn't have like a lot of connection with the world and things that were going on outside. So during those moments of truth where I had to really face myself, I had to face some things that I didn't really like about myself that I had to change. Um, and I think and I've said this before in another one of my clips. It's like you have to have an intervention on yourself. And when you have this intervention on yourself, you really can see, because you're in silence. You're yes, of course, you journal, you pray, you read, you're working on your projects, but in the middle of those, you have a lot of gaps of silence. So during those gaps of silence, you're listening to your own thoughts. And when you're listening to your own thoughts, you can't help but to put a little bit more emphasis on them, because you don't have any distractions. So being that you don't have any distractions, it really gives you the power to dissect them and to ask yourself a lot of questions. Why am I going through this? Why am I feeling like this? What am I going to do about it? Am I going to let it unravel? Am I going to control it? Am I going to interject and stop that thought process? Like being alone and being in silence can really take you to that level. It's actually like a physical act in your brain. If that makes any type of sense, what I'm saying, like it's physical in your brain where you can almost feel these changes or these feelings that you're going through. They're extremely powerful. And then there's a downside of it where you're very lonely, because you're, like I said, you're not really integrating with a lot of people or situations. You're not being social. So then you start kind of almost feeling sorry for yourself. Like, I'm lonely, I don't have anybody to talk to. Almost like a pity party. When really, if you really wanted to, you can just pick up the phone, or you can just get out and go somewhere. But when you're going through this phase of change, it's almost like the universe, the energy around you is not really allowing you to do that. Not by force, but by natural acts. Because like I said, if I really wanted to go hang out and go places or whatever, I could easily do it. But it's a higher force, and it's when you're faced, like again, like I said, you face yourself. And then during these quiet moments, you spend time with God, and you can listen to a lot of the communication that's coming from that higher power, which is God. And you can listen clearly of what the message is. And that's really powerful. That's really powerful. So as you go through this, it changes your persona, it changes your perception, it changes your approach, and it solidifies your journey. And that's what is the most beautiful thing about solitude. It's almost like you're in the middle of the ocean, you're drowning, you're like trying to keep your head above water, there's no one around to save you. No one is here to save you. You got to save yourself. So while you're out there treading the waters, trying to save yourself, guess what? You depend on yourself to save yourself. And you have that alone time. You communicate with God, you pray, I'm always going to talk about journaling, guys. Like, journaling is so powerful. So you write down your thoughts. You just kind of just weave everything out of your brain on paper, you go through that. And then as you start flourishing on paper, you start growing, you're seeing yourself growing. And those moments of solitude are extremely important in a journey. If you want to go to the next level, if you want to grow, if you want to learn more about yourself, maybe you have a situation in your past that is still triggering you, that's still affecting you, that's still hurting you. that you're stuck on, that it's just like you have anger, or whatever the situation is. There's like a million scenarios. This is just my scenario. um you can mold this to whatever your story is, but writing things, praying, being in deep thought, and being quiet is going to be like your sink or swim. um so what I mean by sink or swim is either you're going to look at this phase of your life as going under, and you're just not going to make it. You're just going to be in the middle of the ocean. Boom, you're going to plummet, sink. um or I can reference it to sitting in silence. You're going to let it bring you down, and you're going to be like, woe is me, it's a pity party, I'm alone, nobody wants to talk to me. Or you're going to be like, no, I'm going to switch this. I'm going to swim through these waters, or I'm going to come out of this moment of silence, and I'm going to overcome this moment of silence. I'm going to use this time to my advantage. I'm going to use this very moment in time and physically work with my brain, pen and paper, prayer, meditation, and just accept what's going on, accept my journey, really digest my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, and use it to my power and grow out of it, and just grow. And I'm speaking for myself on as a personal experience. When I was going through this moment of silence, and mind you guys, I still have my moments of silence, like, and I'm okay with it. Like, bring it on, because those moments right there, it was helping me get closer to my journey, not just with the goals that I want to accomplish, but spiritually, my relationship with God, um, mentally. I'm becoming stronger as a person. I'm flourishing in many areas of my life. And I have to thank solitude for that. Um, and it, and I feel like this is important, even not necessarily by force, but also by choice. So let's say that, and what I mean by that is also like I went through a period of solitude because I was just so busy. I really didn't have for time for a lot of exterior things, and I actually feel that way right now. But now I feel like I have control of my solitude. So if I'm busy doing things, and then I'm like, you know what, I need to step away. I need to reflect on what's going on in my life right now. I have some things that I need to accomplish. I can bring myself into that space. But this time since I've grown through these processes, my approach will be different because I've matured in certain aspects of it. So this will be to my advantage. I've already gone through the harder parts of solitude, which is like the like almost like a snake shedding its skin, or a cocoon, like that first initial force to grow. That's the most painful one. It's the most painful one. And from there on, you keep moving, you keep evolving and growing and maturing. And these changes are truly life saving. Those moments of solitude are necessary. If your goal is to take your life to the next level, or to heal from something that you went through, that you experienced, face yourself. When you face yourself and you look at yourself in the mirror, and you're like this with the mirror, like literally like grab a mirror and look at yourself and have a one-on-one with yourself. It's scary. It's so scary when you have changes that you want to make in your life. But it's so important to go through that phase to get to the next level. Once you understand yourself, how your brain works, the mechanics of your system, once you understand those things, it's going to be hard for anything in the outside world to shake you or to affect you uh, in a negative way. You can deal with situations and move on and not be affected in a way that you take it to heart. And another thing with another positive about solitude is you appreciate the silence, you appreciate the alone time, you appreciate what you allow into your life, which is super important because when you're not, when you're out and about or whatever, you might let certain people, certain situations, or you might engage in things that they're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. But the key is, and the question is, what is the purpose? What is the value of it that it's going to bring to your life? How is this going to help you in your journey? How is this going to elevate you? How is this going to take you to the next level? Therefore, you become more choosy, you become aware of situations, scenarios. So, therefore, you make better choices with how you want to spend your time, who you want to spend it with, because your time is valuable. And I said this in one of my other videos, you can waste money, you can waste an outfit, you can waste all the makeup, but wasting time is like, no, we're not going to do that. And I think with solitude, it helps you really just think about all those things in a different perspective. Therefore, being more respectful of yourself, your time, and the people you're around. So, solitude is actually your best friend. Solitude is that life-saving raft that somebody's going to throw at you and you're going to grab it and come out of that ocean like, you know what? I survived these treading waters. I survived those moments of silence. And now I see the world like the foggers are off. You see the world in a different light. And that, my friends, is a beautiful experience. I gotta tell you guys, like when I, on a personal note, like when I was going through that, I remember I was like, is this real? Like I'm a social butterfly. Like I love to hang out. I love to be around people, but I found myself like really wanting to, I've always had so many dreams and I just was stuck. Like, and I'm still have goals to reach, but that right there has taken me from like point A to like point, like I'm going to say like 10 steps ahead. Just those moments of silence. I needed to go through that and I'm still not done with my journey. This is just a piece of it. So I can only imagine where else I'm headed to with just these experiences that I've gone through. So I just encourage everyone or anyone that if you are going through a moment of solitude or you're feeling lonely, I always say this when I talk about other topics, you have to digest the positive out of that situation. You're there for a reason. And the first reason is going to be because you have to face yourself, and then a breakdown of the other things that I talked to. But you're going thank yourself for that moment, that you have that moment of silence for yourself. Thank yourself for that because it's precious, and that is going to help you heal. It's going to help you grow. It's going to help you evolve. It's going to help you take yourself to the next level. So solitude is definitely a game changer. So guys, this is my conclusion on today's episode of Solitude. I definitely want to know what you guys think about what I just talked about, how you guys feel about it, if you've experienced this, and any other suggestions that you might have for me, like if I, want to go into a cocoon and like, enjoy my solitude. Any ideas of what you guys maybe engage in when you're in that moment in your time? aside from like, journaling, praying, meditating, I watch a movie once in a blue moon. But if you guys have any ideas on how to spend that time. So I appreciate your comments. Let me know what you guys think about this topic and how you relate to it and if it's helped you. So again, it was a pleasure talking to you guys today, and I want to wish everyone an amazing day and just peace, love, and light to all of you. Have an amazing night, and I'll see you guys again on Sociology. Take care. Bye bye.